Okay, welcome to video 9.6. Today we're going to be talking about the difference of two perfect squares, or D2PS. This is a special case quadratic. For the first four examples here, I'm just going to do the first one, and then I'm going to leave the rest for you to finish and make an observation about at the start of class tomorrow. So when we have a binomial times a binomial, remember that we need to set up an area model to find out what they simplify to. So this is going back a review question of what happens when we have a binomial times a binomial. So we're going to set up the area model. Okay, so I have my area model set up. I have the x and the plus 5, and then the x and the minus 5. Now we can just fill in our area model. X times x is x squared. And then the 5 times the x is 5x. And on the bottom, negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And then the negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Okay, and then we look here and we need to combine any like terms that we have. Remember that the like terms usually show up on the diagonal, and I have the 5x minus 5x. When I combine them, it's actually 0, so I don't have an x anymore. So this simplified is x squared minus 25. So like I said, that's the only one I'm going to do for today in the video. Then when we come together tomorrow, you're going to do the next three and make the observation to tell me in class, what do you notice about these quadratics? Okay, so we're going to skip down to factoring. So remember, the first thing that we always look for is a GCF. When I look at my two terms here, y squared and the negative 16, I see that there are no GCF. There's nothing that's common amongst these two, the 1 and the 16. That will help me to make this easier to factor. So I'm just going to set up my A, B, and C, and then my x so I can factor. So A is 1, B is actually 0 because there's no B term, and C is negative 16. Then I can set up my x box. So when I set up this x, I have the negative 16, and I need to find out two factors that add up to be 0, but they multiply to be 16. Well, the factors for that are 4 and negative 4, because 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, so now I can separate it out into my 4 terms so that I can factor by grouping just like I've done in the past. So I have the y squared plus 4y minus 16. Then I can fill those into my box. And then we just do what we've done before. We find the GCF in the first row here, y squared and the 4y. The GCF there would be a y, so I can pull that out and put it in front of the box. And then we just need to work backwards to figure out what needs to go in the other spot. So what times y will give us y squared? Or you can do y squared divided by y. But what times y squared will give me y is a y. And then what times y will give me 4y, so that's a 4. So I'm going to put plus 4 here. And then what times y will give me a negative 4y, so I'm going to put a negative 4 here. And now I have my two factors, the side of the box. So I have a y plus 4 and a y minus 4. So now I just need to write them in parentheses next to each other. And then that's my answer, the y plus 4 and the y minus 4. So we can do these in the same way that we have just been doing the previous. Always identify the A, B, and C, and then do your x to figure out the factors that we want to break the B term into, and then you can fill out the area model and work backwards to find the two factors. Okay, so we'll continue these tomorrow in class. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.